designing. This is my first 3D design, which was pretty simple. It's just a little diamond and a stand. The stand is a lot thinner than I thought, but that's okay. Yeah, pretty cool.
Alright, it's December 5th. I'm on the way to local AMC theater to watch the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 movie. Getting hyped before, listening to some music, some tunes. And yeah, apparently the ratings on it are already pretty bad, but I don't know. Who can really tell with the opening day stuff? Like, you never know. So, I'm still looking forward to it, and just because of, it's relevant to the games and whatever, and you don't get too many movies like that. Like the Mario movie, like this movie. I still haven't watched the Minecraft movie, but I heard it's alright. Like, it's not bad. So I still gotta watch that. Yeah. See ya at the theater.
What do you think?
Love the colors.
Is trash.
How dare you look at my masterpiece and say that? I'll burn the skin off your bones!
Are you ready to start the show? Don't forget to stay around to the very end for a great big surprise. Here we go! Count with me now. 10, 9.
Alright, today is December 10th, and going off of last time, which I believe the last time I recorded was during the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, and that was December 5th, so it's been almost a week since I last recorded something, and I know I said I was gonna give my review and all that stuff about what happened, but I just never got around to doing it. But essentially, and I'll do it right now while I can still kind of remember the movie, it was pretty bad. I think the acting was just bad, and the plot itself was not that great as well. I just don't like, how do I say, I don't really like the little girl. I think her name is Abby. Yeah, I don't like that girl. Her acting is, it's a kid actor, but the acting is not that good. And I think Josh Hutcherson as well, there's like some, obviously it's a movie acting, it's pretty just like staged, and it doesn't feel natural. And I thought the overall plot, the movie was not that good, and it didn't really feel like it was, how do I say it? I think my understanding of Five Nights at Freddy's is not like basic, but it's also not super extensive compared to people who are very dedicated to the games and all that stuff. And from what I understand, at least, I just don't think that the animatronics, the toy ones, the original ones, whatever, I don't think that they were designed to be friendly or do all this other stuff, regardless of whether there's a child's soul stuck in them. I don't think they were designed to. And just a heads up, this is going to be a little spoiler for this movie. Hopefully, you watched the first one, but for this one, in the end, spoilers. I'll give you a few seconds to leave or skip if you need to. What happens at the end of this movie is that the main cast is getting cornered in the house, or kind of surrounded in the house by the toy animatronics, and who are being controlled by the marionette, right? I think. Yeah, the marionette. And what happens is that the original animatronics, who were like the friends, and honestly they kind of like saved them in the first movie, if I remember correctly, from Springtrap, from William Afton, they come back and like beat up the toy animatronics, and it just felt like a weird like Avengers or like Marvel Endgame scene where they just all appear and save the day and all that stuff. And I don't know how I feel about that. But at the same time, at the end of the movie, well, for one, Vanessa, I don't even know if in the game there was a Vanessa Afton, like the daughter of William Afton. I know there was he had a daughter, but I don't think she was named Vanessa. But either way, she gets possessed by Marionette or whatever it is. So I don't know where they're going to go with that. And then also they had an end credit scene, just like Marvel, where they teased basically a Five Nights at Freddy's 3 that it looks like it's going to follow the game, going along with Springtrap, where his suit is kind of like torn up and everything, and he's coming back to life, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I thought there was like a lot of silly moments, and I just can't say it was like a really good movie. It was, if you understand the games and if you followed the games and all that stuff, it might be enjoyable, but I think just in terms of a movie, it felt like there was some missing parts. And also, I don't know if I missed it maybe, but I didn't see MatPat in this one. They did make a few, references here and there. Oh, and in the last scene, they also revealed Michael Afton, who's the son of William Afton, who I guess was apparently trying to continue his dad's legacy, which is why he brought back he kind of reactivated the toy animatronics. I don't know. I'll have to rewatch the game theory stuff to maybe have this make any sense at all, but I just don't. If you have no idea of what's going on in FNAF, then these movies would make absolutely zero sense to you. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the FNAF movie. It happened last Sunday, this past Sunday. Or was it Sunday? No, it was Saturday. I went to a friend's house. We watched the Ohio State and Indiana game. I was thinking that Ohio State would win, just given their historical record and the fact that they're coming off of the Natty win last year and they were undefeated this year. But somehow, some way, Indiana squeaked out a win, and it was essentially because the kicker for Ohio State is complete garbage and missed like a 30-yard field goal. Like, I don't know how he was on the team if he can't make that, and it seems like he's consistently missed those sort of kicks. So I don't know. It was a entertaining game though. Low scoring. I think the final score is like 13-10, and yeah, it's cool to see Indiana kind of topple one of the big dogs, Ohio State. Sunday, I watched the Packers win against the Bears. That was a big win, of course, and I'll be going to the game in a few weeks at Soldier Field on December 20th, so that'll be fun. What else? Nothing much else. At work, I haven't really done much this week. The doctor that I work with, he's been out sick. Apparently he has COVID, and apparently it's pretty bad for him to miss. He's going to miss 4 days this week, so, really not much for me to do at work. I'm just kind of messing around and working on some other stuff here and there. Yeah, that's kind of how December's going so far. Alright, I'm in Chicago today. It's December 20th. And me and my friend George, we're in Chicago for the Packers-Bears game later today. What is that? Oh, that's my shirt. You can see kind of a little bit of the green and gold there. Don't want to flash it too much because, I'm alone. I don't know how people are going to react. For some people, sports are a super important thing and they take it very seriously. Right now I'm by myself though. It's about noon and I'm just kind of exploring because George has some get up, how do I say it? He has some sort of event for an organization that he's part of, like an alumni event. So he went to that, and I'm kind of just exploring by myself for a little bit. And then we're going to do some other stuff later until the game. But yeah, just enjoying it. It's a really nice city, and honestly, I'm not in the very heart of it, but I'm pretty close, and it's pretty quiet here. I'm just kind of relaxing under a Christmas tree that's set up outside this office building. It's pretty cold actually. I think the temperature itself is not too cold, but the wind is making it a lot colder, and Chicago is the windy city, of course. So yeah, we'll record some more.
Tail, you win. Though your nose gets chillin', we'll frolic and play the ass.
Smoked fish on smoking fish.
这个 sauce 呀。
Alright, so it is December 29th, 2025. 2 days left of 2025. A little bit hard to believe. And when I kind of think about this past year and think about, so what I've been doing since graduating high school, sorry, not high school, college, it's kind of surreal to think about. Just the fact that it feels like time has gone by really fast, even though it's already been 2 years. So it's just really hard to believe that we'll be going into 2026 soon. And yeah, this might be the last video that I kind of record, because I don't think I'm going to be doing anything else interesting per se for the rest of 2025. We'll do New Year's, some stuff for New Year's, but other than that, nothing else. And I kind of just wanted to debrief, because it's been like I said, it's been a strange year. A lot of things going on, and I think, at the start of the year, we kind of started off with not much going on. I mean, I was still working at my old job. It was a little bit further away, of course, but I enjoyed it, and I was starting to get to the point, though, where I was getting a little bit burned out just from having to drive back and forth so long, and then it felt like I was getting more responsibility than I was necessarily I needed to. And it just all kind of, the biggest thing was just driving so far for me. And I wanted to find something different. And, for a while, for most of the year, I kind of cut back on my hours, that sort of thing. That's how I kind of started to move away from it. But eventually, I switched jobs to a closer job. And, I'm not too fond of this one right now, but the biggest advantage is that it's close to home, and I can go from there, right? So starting off the year with that, and obviously nothing medical school wise, and I actually started recording these sort of vlogs, these videos in I think February or end of January, sometime then. And I was planning to do like a daily video every day, but I just could not keep up. And I mean, eventually I kind of ran out of things to talk to. I'm not that interesting, and I'm not that good of a talker, and I don't really know what to talk about. I mean, I'm not like a expert at any one thing. I can talk about some things, but I'm just not like super like a pro at One Piece or extremely knowledgeable about Pokemon. I mean I love Pokemon, but not like a ultra Pokemon nerd, right? So it was a good idea though. I think to start recording videos is, for me at least, I've always enjoyed making videos, whether that was just record. It was actually only just recording games on my computer. I played shooter games, basically CS, Rainbow Six Siege. Those are the big ones, and Overwatch. Although I never really uploaded anything. Valorant, I kind of like dabbled with streaming, but after like 2020, when I had a lot of free time during COVID, I kind of stopped. Kind of gave up video editing. So that's how that went. Moving into April, May, and into like the summer of 2025, that's when I started to apply for medical school again. And yeah, obviously just not a fun process. Luckily, still had my MCAT recommendation letters. I had to alter my personal statement to do the secondary essays again. I mean, I had more to talk about, but it was still just painful to do. And that was basically my whole summer. I spent some time golfing. I spent some time doing some other stuff, but really nothing much besides that and working. I was working part-time, like Tuesdays to Thursdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. And it was just a difficult time. And when I initially graduated, obviously this was not how I expected it to be. Hardly anything goes the way you expect it to. In an ideal world, I would have gone to medical school at this point. I'd be traveling. I would have traveled internationally or within the country this past summer if I got in, but I didn't. So have to adapt, have to overcome, and went through the application process again. Coming into the fall, that's when I started to feel like this job, I just couldn't sustain it for another year. I enjoyed working with the doctor there. I enjoyed gaining the experience and the people I was learning a lot, but seeing as I would have to go through the application cycle again, right? I couldn't do this job for another year. I couldn't see myself having to drive an hour there and back. Well, 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back. So hour total. I just couldn't see myself doing that every day for the next year. I just couldn't. It was just bad on me because I'm a pretty bad driver, if I have to say so myself. And I would frequently get tired after work and kind of like doze off at the wheel because there's so much traffic. And that's like a really bad thing. It's really dangerous. Because like imagine I'm like just driving down the road. A lot of the roads I used to drive on were very straight. So you would kind of just like zone out, and I would just like, and just like shake my head. I sometimes like splashed cold water on my face. It was not good at all. But yeah, looking back on it, I don't know how I did it for so long, but I needed to change something, and the whole process of switching jobs was a little bit awkward, but I stuck with it. And my new job, of course, like I said, 10-minute drive here, 10-minute drive back, or 10-minute drive there, 10-minute drive back. So very, very nice, and never at the point where I'm falling asleep at the wheel anymore. So that's a big thing. So yeah, once I switched this job to this job, actually at that time I had my one and only medical school interview so far. And that was to, actually, no, I'm not going to say the school, but just, I had a medical school interview. It didn't go so well. I mean, I prepared with my dad, just doing like some mock interviews, but I feel like maybe I should have gotten some actual professional help. It's hard to say, in retrospect, I could have done this, I could have done that. Who knows, right? The one thing I do know is that it did give me some experience into doing an interview and what sort of questions, what sort of the MMI process is like. It's not fun, I will say that. And there are definitely things that I know during the interview that I just completely blanked on, that I didn't know how to respond properly, or I just omitted, even though I know how to respond to those properly if I had more time and if I had more thought. But just in that moment, everything was kind of clouded, and it's difficult to kind of think on your feet with these things, at least for me. I've never been good at public speaking or interviews or anything like that, so I don't know how other people perceive me. It's kind of hard to say, but I just know that for this interview it didn't go so well, and I already got the rejection. I wasn't expecting. I was really hoping to get into school, but that's how medical school is. So be it. And yeah, since then, this is kind of where we're at right now. I'm trying to kind of go through my life right now, just enjoying each moment that's valuable and that's enjoyable. I'm still relatively at a young age. It's not unheard of to apply to medical school 3 times. Of course, some people apply several times and they still can't get in. So that's kind of at the stage where I'm at right now. I mean, I've still got a lot of time. I'm obviously not going to get any younger, but I'm not, at a point where I need to have a job. I need to get into medical school, right? But I'm going to keep working hard, and that's going to be my goal for 2026, of course, right? To get into medical school. As 2025 ends, I'm gonna keep making videos. I really like, I think, making these videos and sort of doing some light editing with it. Nothing too crazy, nothing too involved, nothing, movie style, but it's sort of like just a compilation of what I've done, and it gives me a sense of purpose, right? Of what, recording these moments, and I can reflect on what I've done the past month. So I'll probably do one for each month next year, and like I mentioned before, I might do another video every day of the month, maybe in June or July, whenever it's warmer, just because the last one in November, just a bunch of snow. We got a little bit of snow last night, and I think we're getting some right now, but it's nothing like November. I don't know why we got so much snow. It was like total probably like at least 12 inches, like maybe a foot of snow. So crazy. But yeah, that's gonna be it. Probably gonna record a little bit more later, but for today, that'll be all.